Hey Aubrey, I'm so excited for tomorrow.
Yeah, me too. I can finally meet your parents. Ooh, I'm nervous.
Don't be. Actually, you're gonna only meet my mom.
Oh, what? I thought you were going to introduce me to both of your parents.
My dad has work tomorrow because he's a pretty busy man, so my mom will meet and judge you and your parents.
Didn't you bother to talk to him about this? We're engaged.
I wanted to, but he doesn't have the time to talk. Plus, he's pretty strict.
I see. Why didn't you tell me about this earlier? My dad took a day off from work tomorrow because he thought he was going to be able to meet both of your parents. And what do you mean, judge? That's kind of harsh.
Hey, my mom took a day off also, you know. Be thankful.
Why are you mean all of a sudden?
How am I mean? I just told you that my mom took a day off, so appreciate that. My mom and I are pretty close, so I hope that you guys can talk peacefully.
Pretty close and loves me? Do you mean a normal mom and son relationship, or do you mean obsession?
She's just strict and wants to maintain a good relationship, okay? She also looks out for everyone in the family because we're all doctors except for me. I didn't tell her that I failed the USMLE exam, so can you keep that a secret?
Oh, that's right. You told me about your family to me before, but not that much. Why didn't you tell her that you failed? She'll eventually find out, you know.
I don't want her to hate me.
Yeah, but lying will ruin your relationship with her. That's up to you, though.
I think she won't find out, so can you promise me?
Okay, then it'll be your fault if something happens, though. See you tomorrow.
Yep, see you tomorrow.
The next day. I don't know where you are, but get the fuck out of my house. I will not let you be a part of this family. Self-employed father, are you serious? We're in the car and ready to leave. Why are you so mean? You didn't need to throw your drink at me and talk shit the whole time. Didn't you realize that Travis was really embarrassed? So what? Self-employment is not a decent job. You just want his money and take advantage of him because he's nice, right? I need to warn him to not marry you. I'm going to find a better woman for him, so can a poor trashy bitch leave him alone? How did you jump to that conclusion? Don't worry, I will leave him alone. I just want to know why. I thought that as soon as your dad told me that he's self-employed. Is there something wrong with that? Self-employed people struggle financially, so you probably plotted something with your father. You were keeping an eye on Travis because you heard that he's a doctor, right? I've seen a lot of bitches like you, so I know. There is no way I'm going to let him marry you. It's sad how you judge people and talk shit even though it's not true. I'm not judging, it's the truth. I'm not one of those people, though. Why don't you listen first? It's a waste of time listening to those people. Wow, you are such a disgusting person, and you know what? I'm glad that I'm not going to be in your family, so thank you for not approving. Say that as much as you want because it means nothing to me. Also, stop acting tough because I bet you're crying right now. I'm not. My dad and I are planning a dad-daughter date right now because we're off from work today. Can't believe that you have the nerve to think about that now. Why? You kicked us out, plus I'm done with Travis, so we have free time. I will call off the engagement right now. He always listens to me, so don't think about arguing. Please, go ahead. There is nothing to argue about. Great. Don't think about changing your mind. I won't allow him to get married to someone besides a doctor. I'm so glad I was able to know about this earlier. Otherwise, I would have let a loser be a part of my family. I'm so glad my husband didn't meet you guys. I won't change my mind, so don't worry. Your husband is a doctor too? Why would I tell you? I just asked you a question. And I will not answer it because it doesn't matter to you. Okay then. Just to let you know, Travis is gonna face some problems. Will that be okay for you? What the hell are you talking about? Are you threatening me? No, I'm not. I'm just making sure if it's okay for you, and looks like you are. Yes, because I know nothing is going to happen. Anyways, I guess I'll start looking for his new wife, because there should be plenty of women better than you out there. Such a good feeling to get rid of a bitch who's a waste in this family. Why don't you marry someone at your level? Don't you ever think about taking back Travis, okay? Bye! I hope you have fun with your lame-ass dad. Can you stop talking shit about my dad? He didn't do anything to you. No, I won't. I have to laugh because he has some nerve to introduce himself to his elite family. Hate to break it to you, but my dad owns a hospital. What? Owns a hospital? What do you mean? Well, you would have known if you'd listened to him instead of cutting him off. I wanted to talk to you before about this, but if I do, it seems like I'm bragging, so I didn't say anything. I didn't expect for you to make fun of him and look down on him and end this way. Do you want to know something else? Travis is a nurse there. What do you mean Travis is a nurse? You don't know anything? He failed the USMLE exam, so he's not a doctor. He's just a nurse who works at my dad's hospital. It was easy for him to get in because my dad is a head doctor there. What? He didn't tell me about this. He didn't want to tell you because he was afraid that you would hate him. It must have been hell listening to you talk shit to the hospital director. Wait, so let me get this straight. Your dad is a head doctor and owns a hospital? That's what I've been saying. He said self-employment because he's a medical practitioner, but he should have explained it in more detail. But I'm glad to see your true colors, so I thank my dad. Are you serious? You're the head doctor's daughter? Yep, and also the female doctor who will be the next head doctor. What? Seriously? Yes. Speaking of doctor, you were bragging how your family are all doctors, but I found some interesting facts because I thought something was fishy. So your husband is a pharmacist, and your other son went to medical school but failed and is jobless now, right? Pharmacist is in the healthcare field, and both of my sons are doctors because they went to medical school. Here's a little lesson. Pharmacists are people who hand out and explain medicines prescribed by the doctor, and just because your sons went to medical school doesn't mean that they are doctors. They are doctors! You need to pass exams and get licenses and certifications in order to become one. Everyone knows that. By the way, Travis doesn't know about this, right? I wonder what he'll think about this. Are you going to tell him? I was going to, but he doesn't matter anymore and it's a waste of time, so no. He will eventually find out, though. Also, you're only a stay-at-home wife. You don't even work and you have no right to make fun of people working. I wonder how you made him believe that you're working, though. You're so rude. Rude? You're the one that's rude. You look down on people and make fun of them if you find out they're not doctors, even though you and your family aren't. Also, isn't it sad to brag about having a family of doctors even though it's not true? Do you need to always one-up someone? Sorry, but this is me. Hey, Aubrey, if I agree with you marrying Travis, will you forgive me? I was misunderstanding something. Actually, it's also your fault because you didn't tell me anything, so since we're both in the wrong, it's fine, right? No, it's not. Why? Are you really gonna ask why? Hey, I will apologize to you as many times as you want, so do you think we can make up and get along? You can come by to have some coffee, okay? It's scary how you change your attitude as soon as you found out I'm a doctor. Sorry, but the engagement is off, so no thank you. We will not get back together, and he'll probably quit the hospital. You didn't think that an actual doctor would come and meet you, right? What? Why? You don't need to be that mean. Mean? All I did was decide not to get married to him, because I don't love him anymore, plus, don't want someone like you in my family. What will happen to his job, though? Oh, don't worry. I won't tell him to quit, but I think he will, though. He'll definitely feel awkward because he just broke up with the head doctor's daughter who's going to be in his position. You don't need to break up with Travis. I'm telling you that you can marry him. I just talked to him and he said that he wants to marry you. You deserve someone like him, so I will allow for you to marry him. If you guys do, can you make him the head doctor? So you want me to marry him because of that? I told you that he's not a doctor, so of course not. Well, why don't you be his assistant and teach him? That way he can learn things and be a good doctor. That's illegal because he doesn't have a license or certification. You seriously don't know anything, do you? If you still don't understand, just search it on Google. Now, will you excuse me? I'm spending quality time with my dad right now. Before you go, I advise you to admit to everyone that you were lying about your family. I will do that, so can you please come back? Of course not. We're done. No, please. Now, do you know how real doctors act like? The total opposite of you. You should change your attitude, but I know that you won't listen to me, so bye. Get the fuck out of my face. After the incident, Travis ended up quitting the hospital because he felt awkward being there since everyone gave him the cold shoulder. His rumor was spread throughout town also, and since he had trouble finding a new job, he moved to a small town in the middle of nowhere. As for Travis's mom, she faced the consequences of her actions. Her husband divorced her for being rude to others and lying about everything. Her family members cut ties with her for the same reason, and she now has nobody who can help her. I don't know where she is now, but I really don't care. This shows that it's very important to listen to somebody until they finish talking, otherwise you might misunderstand and cause trouble to others and especially yourself.
Well, my boss invited me, so I'll be going on another resort trip this weekend. It's just for business, but still, spending my days off with my boss? Seriously, it's such a drag.
What? Again? Isn't that a bit too much? You've been going away all the time these last few months, haven't you? Don't you think it's about time you took a break? I mean, even if it's a resort trip.
I guess so, but it's not like I dislike going to a resort. I don't mind it, and since it's for work, there's no point in complaining about it, right?
True, but still, it feels like we hardly have any time together as a couple. And remember, we had plans to visit my parents this weekend. You said you'd come with me.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. It's not like I'm choosing this over you. I have work commitments too, you know? You can go to your parents' house by yourself. Even if I go, it would just be for show. The kids will be happy just to see my face for a bit.
I get that it might seem trivial to you, but don't you think the kids would want to spend some time with their dad? And honestly, going back home with the kids alone is no walk in the park for me. You've never had to take care of them on your own, so you wouldn't understand.
Come on, saying you have a hard time with the kids when you can have such adorable children all to yourself is really a spoiled complaint, don't you think?
If you think it's just about how cute the kids are, then that proves you're not really involved in raising them. It's not just about them being cute. There are plenty of challenges that come with it, too.
If the kids heard you say that, they'd be so upset. Seriously, you sound like a pretty terrible mother.
If you think you can handle it better, then why don't you try doing it yourself? Stop enjoying your trips with your boss and take the kids on a trip by yourself at least once. Or even just stay home and take care of them alone for a bit. Trust me, you'll regret saying that.
Excuse me? What are you talking about? You have no idea how difficult it is to travel with my boss. That's why you can say such things. I'm not going on trips with my friends. It's all really stressful.
I used to go on those kinds of trips before we had kids too, you know. But ever since the kids were born, it's always been me taking care of them because you can't handle it alone, right? Realistically speaking, traveling with my boss just isn't something I can do without your support. So tell me, if I said, hey, I'm going on another 2-night resort trip with my boss, so can you take care of the kids? Would you really do that? Because I'm juggling work, house chores, and parenting over here. It's not easy for me.
You're so annoying. It's because you always act like you're so put upon that I don't want to help. If you'd just keep your mouth shut, I might actually want to help out. It's the way you say things that makes me want to back off.
First of all, what do you mean by helping? Parenting is something we should do together, especially since both of us work. Do you think it's normal for me to be the one solely responsible for the kids just because I'm a woman? You're not just here to help. You should be taking an active role. The very idea that I have to ask for help is what's wrong here.
Oh, you're so damn annoying. If you have complaints, go home to your parents and tell them. Anyways, I have to work with my boss this weekend. I'm not coming home, so don't bother contacting me.
This conversation is going nowhere. Hey, answer your phone. This is an emergency. I just rushed to leave you a voicemail. Why haven't you responded at all? Right now, all of our family members are rushing to the hospital, and we need you here too. You have to come as soon as you see this message. It's really serious. We're all very worried, and it's important that you get here as quickly as possible. The situation is critical, and we don't know what's going to happen. It's really dangerous, and the last thing we need is for anyone to delay in getting here. The kids are with me, so just come straight to the hospital without stopping at home. We'll be waiting for you here, and I know it's a lot to ask, but it's important that we're all together right now. Please understand how urgent this is. I wouldn't be calling you like this if it weren't a serious situation. I really need your support right now, and the kids need their dad too. They're scared, and we all want to be there for each other during this tough time. It's moments like this that remind us of how important family is, and we can't do this without you. So please, as soon as you get this message, drop everything and head over to the hospital. We're all really counting on you to be here with us. I can't stress enough how crucial it is that you come. I'll keep you updated on what's happening as soon as I can, but right now just focus on getting here. We need to stick together as a family in times like this. Please hurry.
I'm so tired. Traveling with my boss is exhausting. And what's with this mountain of messages? I got your voicemail and it sounded so dramatic. You were like, "Your mother is in critical condition. Come to the hospital immediately." It felt like something straight out of a drama series. By the way, where have you been? Today was supposed to be the day you were coming home, and yet there's no food prepared at home?
Oh, you finally returned. Well, I'm at my parents' place letting the kids rest. Honestly, I'm surprised you managed to come back from your trip considering the situation.
And about your mom being in critical condition? I really don't care. You were just on vacation, weren't you? Are you still lounging around at your parents' house? Lucky you. So what's going on with the old lady? Not that it has anything to do with me.
We just finished my mother-in-law's funeral. We're currently gathered here to talk things over.
Wait, what? Your mother-in-law? Hold on a second. Are you saying that your mother-in-law is actually my mother?
Yes, that's right. Didn't your dad call you? He mentioned he left you a message, too.
Huh? My dad did send me a message saying to come home right away and go to the hospital, but...
So you were blocking your communications from your relatives? That explains why I hadn't heard anything. I guess you were too busy worrying about how to manage your trip with your boss, huh?
Well, of course. I'd find it annoying if I were getting all these bothersome messages from my family while I'm with my boss. Wait a second, are you seriously telling me that it's my mother?
I've been telling you that. We've been extremely busy with the funeral arrangements. I tried to contact you so you could see her one last time, but instead, you decided to ignore all the messages and just enjoy your vacation, only to come back now. Honestly, even your family is at a loss for words about it.
I know, but I didn't think something like this would happen.
But your mom had been suffering from heart issues for a long time, right? It was bound to get worse. When I got the call saying she had taken a turn for the worse and was in critical condition, you should have come right away. If you had, you could have seen her one last time.
I can't believe this happened! Mom!
I'll be heading back home with the kids once everything settles down here, so you're an adult, just take care of yourself for now. You had no idea how hard it's been trying to juggle everything. While you were off enjoying your trip, I was dealing with the kids and the situation here. I can't believe you didn't think to check your messages and respond sooner.
I didn't think it would turn out like this. I thought we had more time.
You really should have been more aware. It's not just about your vacation. You have responsibilities and family to think about. The least you could do is check in, especially when things are serious. You may be relaxed right now, but the reality is that life doesn't stop for anyone.
I get that, okay? I really do, but sometimes I just need a break from all of this.
I understand needing a break, but there's a time and a place for everything. When family is involved, especially with such grave matters, you can't just ignore it. I wish you'd been here to support me and the kids when it mattered.
You're right. I should have been more considerate. I just didn't think it would escalate this quickly.
Now it's too late. I hope you realize how important family is and how vital it is to be present during tough times. You can't just turn your back on your responsibilities.
I promise I'll do better next time. I just hope it won't be under these circumstances again.
It's not about making promises now. It's about learning from this experience. Family means being there for each other, no matter the situation. So please try to remember that. Thanks for waiting, Mary. I'm all set over here. Kaylin, thank you so much. You got here much faster than I expected. This really helps me out. Right? I mean, this is a big deal for you, so of course I'm going to move quickly to help. But I really can't believe that guy. He's unbelievable. I appreciate it. I truly do. At first I was completely overwhelmed and didn't know what to think. But now everything is starting to connect, you know? It feels like I can finally make sense of it all. Yeah, I get that. I was hesitant about whether or not to tell you at first, too, but I really want you to find happiness. You've been doing so much on your own with the kids. It's a relief that it finally turned out this way. Kaylin, I can't thank you enough for everything. Oh, it's nothing, really, but seriously, the world feels small sometimes, doesn't it? So, are you prepared for what's coming next? Are you really going to follow through and put an end to this? Absolutely. I know that this is the best outcome for me. I see. Well, that's great. Then let's stick to the plan and go for it. I'm honestly looking forward to this. I can hardly contain my excitement. It's like all the pieces are finally falling into place and I'm ready to take action. I've been waiting for the right moment to make my move, and now that I have your support, I feel much more confident. Knowing that I have someone like you in my corner makes all the difference. You know how much I've struggled with this situation, and just thinking about finally putting it behind me fills me with hope. I can't wait to reclaim my life and start fresh without all this baggage holding me back. This is going to be a turning point for me, and I'm ready to embrace whatever comes next. Let's do this together and make it happen. I've got your back just like you've got mine through this entire process. So let's get everything organized and take the first step. I'm ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead with newfound determination.
By the way, I've got another golf trip with my boss next weekend. I was sleeping when you came back yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to talk to you.
Wait, what? Again? How can you even think about going on another trip after everything that's happened? Your mother is in such a serious condition because you were away on vacation. Don't you think it's time to take a break from all this traveling?
I do think about it, but what can I do? It's a work obligation, and I have no choice but to go. Plus, especially in times like this, I want to forget everything for a while and just have some fun. And you shouldn't be complaining about things at a time like this.
You did tell your boss about your mother's situation, right? He's still inviting you despite everything? That says a lot about him, too.
Huh? What do you know about my boss? It's fine if you want to criticize me, but don't speak ill of my boss.
What are you talking about? You've told him you had kids, right? If he knows you have a wife and children, he's still inviting you out. That's just disrespectful.
Shut up! We've got our own circumstances here. I'm in a good position with my boss, so there's nothing I can do about it.
That makes it even worse. Can't you just tell him that your wife is upset? Were you in such a position that you couldn't say that?
Talking to you is pointless. Seriously, you're such a difficult person to deal with. It's like you've completely changed since you got married and had kids.
I think you're the one who changed me. Don't you realize it? You act like nothing has changed in your life despite having kids, living your life like you're still single. How long do you think you can go on like this, expecting to be taken care of like a child? Don't you understand that you're a parent now?
Oh, right. So everything is my fault, huh? Just go ahead and be friendly with the kids. I'll be off having fun with my boss while you're at it.
Fine, I get it.
What are you thinking? Why are you in a place like this?
That's what I was going to ask you. What are you doing sneaking into a married woman's house while her husband is away on a business trip and having a cozy overnight getaway, just the two of you? Looks like you're not even in the same company and you're not going out golfing either. What happened to that supposed golf trip with your boss?
Are you kidding me? You weren't following me, were you?
Well, technically speaking, it wasn't me. I just had a professional investigator check things out for me. And it turns out you were having yet another overnight getaway at your girlfriend's house today. So I thought this is ridiculous and decided to crash the party.
The audacity! You're the one who should be saying that! Your girlfriend must have been so shocked that she started crying, right?
At a time like this, you're still worried about her? Oh, this is hilarious. You came out half naked, for crying out loud. Sure, I had my friend ring the doorbell so you wouldn't know I was here, but still. How could you be so foolish? It's disgusting. There's no way out of this, is there?
By the way, why are my relatives here with you?
I brought them along. Just showing evidence wasn't going to cut it. They said it must have been a misunderstanding. So I asked them to come to the scene with me. That way they could see the undeniable proof with their own eyes, right?
You've got to be kidding me! How did it come to this?
That's what I was about to say. Could you bring your girlfriend out here already? If you don't want to talk outside, then just let us in the house. We can all have a nice chat together, can't we?
Are you insane? There's no way I could accept such a chaotic situation.
But you're the one who created this chaos. You left the kids with me, and here you are cozying up with your girlfriend. As a father, as a man, and as a human being, you're the lowest of the low.
Well, that's because ever since you became a mother, you've been all about the kids. You've lost any charm or femininity you might have had, so it's no wonder.
You think that's a valid excuse for your actions? I have every right to want to protect the child I brought into this world with my life, and I believe that wholeheartedly. If we could have co-parented together, maybe I could have felt like a woman again. But you've done nothing but come home and leave all the cooking, cleaning, and child rearing to me, while you play with the kids only when they're in a good mood. You sit there fiddling with your phone instead of helping with their studies. I simply don't have the time to deal with a pathetic man like you. If you wanted attention, you should have made time for me.
There's no need to pile it on like that. How did you even figure this out?
You underestimate a woman's intuition, don't you? The moment you started going out more, I felt something was off. You stopped wanting to be intimate, and then there were those little moments where you'd compare me to other women. You really had no idea you were doing that, did you?
Huh? Was I doing that?
Yes, you were. And then, just at that time, I started getting tips about you. They said you were at a resort with another woman. You'd go to popular resorts, so of course my friends would see you. This world is much smaller than you think, you know.
Wait, I was being seen like that?
Yep, and that's when I became convinced. But since I thought that alone would not be enough proof, I got my friends and a private investigator involved to prepare for a solid case against you.
A case? What do you mean? We're married, right?
We are married, huh? You're the one who betrayed me, so who are you to talk? I I've been putting up with your betrayal all this time. When I told you that it was unreasonable for someone to invite you knowing that you had a wife and kids, I was angry for my beloved girlfriend, wasn't I? Just go ahead and do whatever you want because I am getting a divorce.
What? But the kids are involved too! Don't you think it's cruel for them if we divorce?
It's better for them to grow up in a warm, loving home rather than living with a father who's a traitor and watching his dysfunctional relationship with their mother.
Why would you say something like that?
Because you act so selfishly. I will definitely be filing for alimony, and as soon as the other husband gets back, I'll be talking to him. You're getting divorced from me, and you can deal with your life afterward as you please. I'll be sure to claim a hefty alimony from you, and of course you'll be paying child support too.
Stop it! This is all because you stopped being a woman. You just wanted to spend time with another woman, didn't you? You have some responsibility in this too.
Do you think I'm just going to let that slide? I'm managing everything while also taking care of 2 kids. Why do I have to continue to deal with someone who can't even take care of the children or help with the household chores?
Dealing?
I am working without any time off. If you wanted my attention, you should have saved some energy for it. You come home, fiddling with your phone, eat the food I made without a second thought, take long, relaxing baths in the bathroom I scrubbed clean, and sit there looking satisfied at the faces of the children I struggled to put to bed, pretending to be a father. You're a worthless man.
You don't need to say it like that.
I'm doing everything. And you expect me to be your night partner too? If you want me to keep looking beautiful by putting on makeup and taking care of my hair and skin, then you better start making time for me to do that. I am barely managing to keep myself alive and care for the children. And you think you can just go off and satisfy your own desires with other women? You don't deserve to call yourself a father.
I'm sorry, I messed up. Just don't make this a bigger deal than it is. Please don't tell her husband. I'll do my best from now on.
I don't have the space in my heart to accept the dirty person you've become. You are a criminal who broke the law, so make sure you pay for your actions. It is pathetic how you keep worrying about yourself. Oh, and just so you know, my punishments won't end here. I'll make sure to report this to your workplace as well. You were supposed to be on a trip with your boss, so we need to confirm that, don't we?
Wait! Please stop! Anything but that! I'm working hard for my promotion! If you ruin that for me, my future!
Have you realized the extent of what you've done before you started talking? You have no idea how much you've hurt me. You're sacrificing the children for your own desires. Finally, my husband lowered his head, ready to admit his faults, something that took far too long. Initially, I thought he would allow me and my relatives to enter his home so that we could have a serious discussion about the situation at hand. However, to my shock and a certain degree of satisfaction, he was outright punched by her father as soon as he arrived. Witnessing that confrontation was a bizarre mix of emotions, but I must admit it left me feeling quite satisfied. It was a cathartic moment, especially considering all the pain and betrayal I'd been experiencing. The woman in question came to me and apologized deeply, going so far as to kneel before me in a gesture of contrition. I could see the remorse in her eyes as she bowed her head, trying to express her regret for what had transpired. However, I could not simply accept her apology at face value, for I had a child whose future was now entangled in this mess. My heart ached as I thought about how our lives had been turned upside down due to the actions of these adults, who seemed to act without considering the consequences. Understanding the gravity of our predicament, I made it crystal clear to her husband just how frivolous she had been in her actions with my husband. I felt it was essential for him to know the full extent of what had happened, the betrayals and the disloyalty that had transpired between them. It wasn't merely a matter of emotions, it was a violation of trust that had ramifications affecting not only the adults involved, but also the innocent children caught in the crossfire. As we engaged in this painful discussion, I realized that she seemed to be a full-time housewife, dedicating her life to maintaining her home and caring for her family. However, her world had turned upside down when her husband filed for divorce. a decision that had consequences not only for her, but also for everyone else involved. I couldn't help but feel a mix of emotions watching her situation unfold. It was ironic that we both found ourselves in such unfortunate circumstances, albeit in different ways. After her husband left her, my husband faced his own set of consequences. I had reported the affair to my company, which led to my husband being reassigned to a remote location. This drastic change in his work situation felt like a punishment that fit the crime. But it was also a bitter reminder that we were both paying for the choices made in moments of weakness and poor judgment. It was as if fate had dealt us both a harsh hand, forcing us to start down a path of disappointment and regret. In our conversation, I made sure to emphasize that this situation wasn't merely a fleeting moment of weakness. It had lasting repercussions that would follow us for years to come. I needed her to understand that while she sought forgiveness, the consequences of her actions extended far beyond a simple apology. My husband and I were now living in the fallout of their indiscretions, and it was our child who would ultimately bear the brunt of this turmoil. The stakes were high, and I couldn't allow myself to become lost in anger and revenge. As I spoke, I could see the emotions flickering across her face. Guilt, sorrow, and perhaps a hint of realization that her actions had not only harmed me, but had also disrupted her own life and family. The weight of her decisions was heavy, and I sensed that she was beginning to grasp the far-reaching effects of what she had done. It was a complex web of emotions that we were both navigating, filled with resentment and a yearning for understanding. I recounted the moments that had led to this confrontation, recalling how my husband had initially been evasive about his feelings, how he had made excuses, and how I, in turn, had been forced to confront the reality of our fractured relationship. The betrayal stung deeply, but this encounter felt like a necessary step towards resolution, or at least towards closure. We were both feeling the fallout from the choices made by those we trusted, and it was a painful yet pivotal moment. As she listened to my words, I could see her processing the information, reflecting on her own role in this saga. She began to share her perspective, explaining her frustrations and the feelings of neglect within her marriage. I listened patiently, allowing her to express herself, knowing that understanding her viewpoint was crucial in moving forward. While I sympathized with her feelings of loneliness and isolation, I couldn't let that cloud my judgment regarding the choices she had made that had led us to this point. Her story mirrored my own in some ways, and it was a stark reminder that unhappiness in a relationship can lead people to make choices they might not otherwise consider. We were both victims of our circumstances, yet I felt an overwhelming need to assert that her choices were hers alone. I wouldn't let her actions undermine the seriousness of what had transpired. The damage had been done, and acknowledging that was the first step in seeking a resolution. As the conversation continued, we both began to reflect on the changes our lives had taken. She spoke of her dreams and aspirations that had been sidelined due to the pressures of family life and the neglect she felt from her husband. In turn, I shared my struggles with maintaining stability for my child amidst the chaos. We found common ground in our shared experiences of loss, even if the roots of our problems were different. It was an unexpected connection forged through our pain. The meeting felt transformative in many ways, as we moved from being adversaries to allies in understanding our struggles. I felt a strange sense of solidarity with her, realizing that we were both navigating a rocky path filled with uncertainty and disappointment. Our conversations morphed from accusations into discussions about how we could both move forward, despite the hurt that lingered in the air. After we shared our stories, we noticed a shift in her demeanor. The tears in her eyes were replaced with a semblance of understanding and acceptance. She grasped the weight of her actions, and I could tell that she was beginning to process the implications of her choices. This encounter was not merely about seeking revenge or an apology. It had become a moment of shared understanding, an acknowledgement of the complexity of our lives. In the end, we parted ways with a newfound sense of respect for each other. It wasn't a resolution to all our problems, but it was a step toward acknowledging the reality we faced. I felt lighter somehow, as if shedding some of the burdens that had weighed me down for so long. While our paths were fraught with difficulties, we both understood that moving forward would require honesty, introspection, and the willingness to confront consequences of our own actions. As I walked away from that encounter, I felt a surge of determination. I knew I had to focus on rebuilding my life and securing a better future for my child. The challenges ahead would be significant, but I was ready to face them head-on, equipped with the knowledge that I was not alone in this journey. There was a shared understanding between us now, a recognition of our struggles, and perhaps, just perhaps, a glimmer of hope for what lay ahead. Reflecting on everything that had transpired, I realized that forgiveness was not an easy path, but it was essential for my own healing. I understood that I had to move forward, and I would have to let go of the anger and resentment that had consumed me for so long. It was a difficult realization, but it was necessary for my peace of mind. Our children were innocent in all of this, yet they were the ones who would suffer from the mistakes. Thinking about the future, I began to formulate a plan for myself and my child. I wanted to ensure that they grew up in a loving and stable environment, free from the chaos and uncertainty that had characterized our lives repeatedly. It was crucial for me to provide them with the support and guidance they needed to navigate their own lives, and that meant prioritizing their well-being above all else. The road ahead would be challenging, but I was determined to face it with courage and resilience. I knew I couldn't change the past, but I could shape the future for myself and my child. Through hard work and determination, I would strive to create a better life for us both. I could see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I was ready to pursue it with all my heart.
Tomorrow you're going to have to introduce yourself. Are you a bit worried about having to do that?
Yes, having to go introduce myself to your family is definitely getting my heart rate up. This will be my first time ever talking with either of your parents, and it will all be face to face. But my parents are really looking forward to this event when it happens.
I sort of feel bad for having your parents come all the way out here to come and see my family.
Well, I'm their only daughter who is about to get married and join a new family, so of course they'd want to be with me to see your family.
But aren't the two of them busy with work and things like that back home?
I'm sure that they have a lot going on right now, but they can hand that work off to others while they're gone. But anyway, they both really love you a lot, and so they're looking forward to taking the time off of work to come see you. I really hope that both my parents and yours will become close with one another.
Well, about that, Ellen, I have a feeling that my dad will say some pretty rude things about your family.
What? What do you mean he'll say some rude things about my family?
I haven't really told you about this directly yet, but my dad is the owner of a 5-star hotel, okay?
You did tell me that he has a lot of relations with a lot of hotels across the U.S., but you never mentioned that he owned a 5-star hotel himself. Is he the owner of the hotel that we're all meeting at tomorrow?
That would be his hotel. But because of his position, he tends to think that he is in a place to look down on others depending on the kind of work they do. He's a very well-off man, my dad. I really hope for him not to say anything rude to any of you guys tomorrow, but...
You don't have to be worried about any of that, Grayson. I think all of our parents, just knowing that you and I make each other very happy and want to become married, should help them all become close to each other. And both my parents and I aren't really worried about what kind of things your dad will have to say about us.
And I'm really thankful that you'd say that, but I'm still a bit worried about him. If nothing major happens, that would be great.
You're getting too worked up over this. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow, and so is my family.
I was given your phone number by Grayson. This would be his father, Michael.
So you're Grayson's dad, then? Well, it's so nice to finally have a chance to talk with you. I'm Ellen. I'm really looking forward to meeting both you and your wife tomorrow when we all go out to eat together.
I'm going to be quick about asking this, but are you after my son's money?
Excuse me? I would never be after anything of Grayson's besides his love.
What makes you think I'm going to believe that from you? I'm sure by now you are aware that I own a very high-class hotel, where we'll all be meeting tomorrow, correct?
I've never really been interested in anything Grayson's family has, like money and properties. And I only learned about you owning such a nice hotel earlier today from him. So that should be enough for you to believe that I'm not after any of your guys' money in this marriage.
I wonder about that, Ellen.
What do you mean?
I'm sure that you looked into all sorts of things regarding my son before you went and stole his heart. But to me, seeing a man as elite as my son wanting to marry some plain Jane is all too suspicious to me. Tell me, Ellen, what does your family do for a living? Are they on the same level as my family?
My parents are both very well-known organic farmers.
What? They're farmers?
Yes. They're both well-known for running a farm that doesn't use anything like pesticides or herbicides and wants to remain completely organic. And as of right now, the produce they both grow is harvested and shipped all over the country to be used in restaurants and hotels.
I cannot believe what I'm hearing. To think that my elite son would ever want to marry someone whose parents are both farmers is just disgusting to me. Aren't farmers all supposed to be part of the lowest level of this society?
What? What do you mean by that?
Right now, the chances of tomorrow's meeting between my wife and I, and your family being canceled are very high. There is no way I'm going to allow a couple of dirty farmers to sit at a dinner table across from my family. Why did my son never explain any of this to me sooner? About how you're the child of a couple of worthless farmers. All of you must love to roll around in the mud like pigs.
Could you just calm down for one moment? What you're saying about my family is very rude, as well as clearly discriminating. Would you please take all of that back right now?
Why would I ever want to take back what I've said about you all? Everything I've said is true. But what does it matter now? Tomorrow I'll make my feelings towards you all very well known in front of your family. You will all understand after tomorrow just the kind of man I am and the position that I hold about you.
Michael, if you do anything that is either rude or embarrassing in front of my family, I will not forgive you. And from there, you will begin to regret ever doing anything so rash. Now, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's gathering with everyone.
Did that help you understand my feelings? You all look great with all those rotten vegetables all thrown over top of you. Did you really think you could come into my hotel and eat the same beautiful and delicious meal as the rest of my family?
So you threw all those rotten vegetables on my parents and I just because I said those two were farmers? This is beyond saddening for both my parents and I. I can't even believe that you'd waste decent produce doing something like that. And the fact that you'd go as far as to throw them all over us when we're in our nice clothes, it's ridiculous, Michael.
Shut up, Ellen. I want you to stop talking to me like that and get back in line. Did any of you really think that I'd let my son marry the child of two disgusting pigs?
So you're going to keep going off about how my family and I aren't good enough for you and your family? Well, this will be unfortunate news for you, but you're finished.
I'm finished with? The only thing that's finished with today is a relationship you have with my son. I will not be allowing you anywhere near him again, and you can kiss whatever hopes you had of marrying him goodbye. I'm laughing, thinking about a scenario where I'd let my son marry a farmer girl. All you guys are good for is getting married to other rotten produce of your kind, so get lost.
Well, you'd better not have any regrets about this then.
You think I'd ever regret watching some filthy pigs get kicked out of my hotel?
Well, if you're not going to regret it, then we'll be on our way. And along with that, I'll do as you've said and leave your son, even though I love him so much and still hold his engagement ring. But know this. The moment my family walks away from here, you will begin to understand just how royally you screwed up today.
What was that? I'll see how royally I screwed up? You think that me getting some pigs out of my life that only wanted my family's money was wrong with me? There's no way on earth that I'm the one that screwed up. Now, can we stop with all of this needless talk and be on our ways? All you are now is a loser, and I don't have time to listen to you complain about it any longer.
Michael, are you even aware that your hotel's very high-end restaurant is supplied produce by my parents' farm?
What?
Well, now my parents are planning to end the contract that your hotel and them created. After how incredibly rude you were to all of us today, my parents have no choice but to stop doing business with you. And you will never be able to obtain the kind of high-quality produce that my family produces again.
What the hell are you talking about? You're telling me that your parents are the ones that supply my hotel with produce?
Well, when it comes to that high-end restaurant of yours, the only reason it's considered high-end is because it's well known that they're using our produce. The kind of produce that is 100% organic with zero chemicals introduced to them. Did you forget that the dishes that are made in your restaurant are so popular? Don't tell me that you've never talked with whoever you've put in charge of the restaurant about how important our produce is to him. Well, at this point, there's no point in going to speak with him because you're finished. Your restaurant will no longer be able to use our produce. I wish you luck finding another farm like ours that'll have the same level of quality as us to buy produce from.
Excuse me? I never heard anything about how your family is the one supplying my restaurant. I'll go have a word with my man in charge soon to see if you're telling the truth. But do you really stand by saying that your family has been the one selling produce to my restaurant? Why would you have never said that to me before?
We didn't have the time to tell you today because the moment we moved to sit at the table, you were having rotten vegetables thrown at us. Anyway, I'm sure that things will become a bit more difficult for you here soon, but best of luck.
Difficult for me? Why am I going to be the one living in a more difficult situation?
Well, because my parents are planning to spread the news about what you've done today to other farmers in the area. And that might lead to finding another farmer to supply your restaurant becoming near impossible. And even if you are to find another family to work with, they're most likely not going to have the same quality of produce as my family has. No matter how you try and fix things, this is going to lead to your hotel taking a massive blow to its reputation.
What? Are you sure? I'm not going to let something like that happen. If you're right about being the one supplying my hotel, it won't even matter to me anyway. All you farmers are poor. And so I'll find someone else who would be glad to accept my money and make produce to my restaurant's liking.
Well then, starting today, we will no longer be sending anything else to your hotel. Good luck from now on, you gross owner of a soon-to-be one-star hotel.
Excuse me, Ellen. Would you be kind enough to get your parents and bring them back out here to come meet with me? I'm very sorry about what happened a few days ago. I'd like for them to come and see me in person so that I may apologize for all of that.
They will not be coming out to see you again.
Why won't they? I'm asking you for this favor directly. Can you please at least listen to what I have to say about what's been happening?
I don't want to hear anything about what troubles you have now, and neither do my parents. No matter how many times you try to call and text me, nothing will change.
But I'm the owner of 5-star hotel, gosh dang it.
And so what, Michael? At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if your title as a 5-star hotel owner changes soon. Right now, all that's happened at your hotel has become a hot topic on the news and online.
Shut up. Something like this was never supposed to happen to me and my hotel.
It's funny how after my family stopped sending your restaurant the produce it needed, you made a deal with another farmer and then faked, claiming that all his produce was organic. And following that claim, you had customers complaining about the flavor of them, and soon an investigation and checkup were done at the restaurant, where the officials found you were lying and shut the place down, right? And since this was all happening at a 5-star hotel with that high-end restaurant, the news spread like wildfire.
Why are you laughing about all this? Right now, my family and I are in a very tough spot. Everyone has begun to lose faith in my hotel and restaurant, and it's led to a snowball of problems that are all taking me down with them. This isn't just about that restaurant, as this has all begun to affect the whole hotel as of now. Even just today, I've had over half of my guests call and cancel their reservations for the place. If things continue as they have been these past few days, my hotel will go under. Why is this all happening to someone like me?
You're asking that like you have no idea what you've done. I'm telling you right now that this is all due to the way you treated my family.
How about I let you marry my son now? Will that make you happy? Come back here and let him ask you for your hand in marriage again.
Even if he were to ask me that right now without you asking me to go to him, I don't have it in me anymore to become your daughter-in-law. I'm not willing to join a family that thinks it's even near okay to waste food like you all did a few days ago.
But you can't be serious about throwing away your chances with my family that easily, right?
By the way, after what had happened at your hotel that day, your son came to us a little bit later and got on his hands and knees to apologize to all of us.
What? Why?
Because he felt sorry for what you and your wife did and wanted to fix things between us, which we did.
Huh?
But the one thing I asked from him in making things right between us again is that he cut ties with you. So I think that you'll never be seeing either one of us ever again, Michael.
That brat went ahead and did all of that behind my back without my permission? I never said that was okay.
Can you tell me why our relationship needs your permission to happen? At first, the both of us knew that you'd be a handful when we had my parents come to town to see you all, but after what you'd done, you changed things for us. We were never going to ask your permission in the first place, but Now, instead of us just waiting for you to cool down a bit before our marriage, we're going to be cutting ties with you. And not just your son and I, but my parents as well plan to do the same.
Please do not say things like that about me. If things aren't done about this whole situation soon, my hotel is seriously going to be at risk of going under. Can you please give me some kind of chance to bring my hotel and restaurant back from near death? If we don't take any action now, it'll be the end for my family and I.
What? I have no idea what you're going on about right now, old man.
Huh?
Whatever you're going on about right now seems to only be centered around you, and it's absolutely annoying. All of that has nothing to do with anything regarding me or your own son, Michael. Anyway, there's no talking your way out of the mess you've made, so just deal with it. If you really want to find a way to save that hotel from falling into ruin, then maybe it's time you quit your job as the owner and let someone competent take it over.
You think I'd leave my position as the owner of this hotel? I'm the one that built this place from the bottom up.
And I am well aware of that. But it's because of the childish attitude you had towards my family that things ended up this way, right? Maybe, had you been a bit more level-headed about things, there wouldn't be this whole mess surrounding your company. I think it's really time that you think about handing that hotel off to a new owner and retire.
But if I hand this place off, then I'll no longer be able to call myself the owner. I am not going to allow something like that to happen. And none of this is my fault because you are the ones that stopped sending me any of your produce.
I told you that we were going to be canceling the contract. I don't care that you don't like what happened or that you didn't approve of it. This all has nothing to do with me now, so you go and fix all this on your own. I think your safest bet right now is to hand the ownership of that hotel over to your son, and then leave us alone for the rest of your life. That should be enough to satisfy all parties involved in this, like your loyal customers and those that hold shares in the hotel.
That's a good point. I can just hand the hotel and restaurant over to my son to own. Then, people will no longer associate the place with me and everything will go back to normal. I think that would be a great idea. And even though the hotel will technically be owned by my son, I'll be behind the scenes still running things as usual without anyone having to know. That way, I won't have to worry about my son messing anything up with the hotel and its complex structuring.
What are you talking about? The only one that's messed things up so far has been you.
Excuse me?
I'm not sure how many more times I'll have to say this, but Grayson has cut ties with you. And as for my family and their business, they have no plans of working together with you anymore, and never will again. And if you continue to try and be involved with all of us, I'm not going to marry your son. Are you still not aware that we all want you to get lost? To everyone at the hotel and to everyone in this family, all you are is in the way.
I never thought I'd be getting told that by someone like you. You were really going to regret all of this. If you do not help me out of this, I'll make you suffer alongside with me.
The only one that's regretting anything right now is you yourself. And you coming to beg for my and my family's help now is never going to work out for you. You are the one that led your hotel to its downfall, and you're going to have to find a way to save it now. You tightened that knot around your neck yourself, and now all you can do is either make the jump or untie said knot. So now, you go off and make that choice yourself, without trying to get any of us involved. But from my view, just give that hotel to your son, and then get the hell out of our faces, you useless old man. After everything that had happened, things only became worse for Michael, as more problems from his past arose, and he was taken into custody because of them. He tried his hardest to run from all the problems he'd created in his past, but there's only so far that you can run from your past, and now he's no longer in the position to be running any sort of hotel. For the next couple of years, Michael will now be serving some time behind bars, and by the time he's out of there, he'll be old enough where he'll lack the energy to come find us again. Grayson was then given the rights to his dad's hotel, and he immediately changed the name of it, as well as the leadership within it, so that it would no longer hold the shame of its past. Soon after the reopening of the new hotel, Grayson and Ellen got married and worked together with the help of her parents to make an even better hotel, where Ellen's parents' produce is the spotlight of it all. And following all of this, there was never any word from Michael ever again, and this was a huge plus for everyone who knew him. The one man that was in the way of everyone was now only a distant memory and would never be coming back to harass anyone ever again.
Maria, I want to talk to you about something. Madison? Hi. Thanks for inviting me over today. I had a great time. I'm sorry I couldn't message you sooner. I only just finished up at work. You really don't have any common sense, do you? I guess it was wrong of me to expect someone as poor as you to have any manners at all. Excuse me? I went out of my way to invite you to my home, but you didn't even send me a message to thank me for letting you in. I got sick of waiting, so I messaged you, but really, you should have messaged me first. Don't you feel any gratitude for the kindness I showed you? Everyone else already messaged me ages ago. I think it's common sense for people to thank someone when they've invited you to their home. Is that too hard for you to understand? I expected the bare minimum, and I got nothing. I understand where you're coming from, but don't you think you're overreacting? I was at work. I already told you when I saw you earlier that I didn't have time to stick around, remember? That means I didn't have the time to message you. It's not like I forgot to thank you. I was planning to send a message when I had the time to look at my phone. I don't think you have to make that big a deal out of me not sending you a thank you message straight away. Anyway, thank you for inviting me into your home. It was lovely. I was only there for a few minutes, but I love what you've done with the place. Of course you'd love it! I hired an interior designer especially to advise me on how to set up each and every room. That's something someone like you can only dream of, since you have to work yourself. What are you trying to say? I'm saying that I know it means that you don't have enough money to be a housewife, and I pity you for it. I don't have to work because I'm from a different part of society than you. I'm pretty much a celebrity. I don't have to work, unlike people like you. Having a husband that makes so much money is great, but I guess you wouldn't understand that. I live in an apartment like this, I only eat organic foods, I wear all the latest fashion, and I have enough brand items for an army. I don't think anyone can deny I'm living the best life. Plus, I can show all this off to poor people like you who don't have anything else in their boring lives to look forward to. Being rich is the best. It makes me feel so good about myself and admit it. You wish you had this life too. Good for you, Madison. But I think you're lacking a lot of class for someone who likes to suggest that she's used to fine dining. Maybe you should find some of that before you buy your next evening dress. What did you just say to me? What? Do you want to pick a fight with me? Because I'll make you regret you ever said something like that to me. I took precious time out of my day to show you around my beautiful house, and this is how you talk to me? Excuse me, what makes you think you can speak to me like that? I knew it was you after all. It's your fault. Excuse me? What's my fault? And you say that you showed me around as though I begged you to? But you're the one that pretty much forced us all into your home. You didn't even give us the choice to say no. You ordered us to come, so we turned up. We all thought we were there to have a PTA meeting, but no! You started bragging about the stuff you have on display. What was it? Some fancy plant or something you had in your living room? It was a mystery to me why we all had been rushed to your fancy apartment all of a sudden. But the second you started giving us a tour we didn't even ask for, I knew it was a complete waste of my time. That's why I left as soon as possible so I could go to work. Shut up! There's no point in trying to change the topic. You're a thief! Excuse me? What on earth are you talking about now? What are you saying I stole? This is absolute nonsense, Madison. This is so ridiculous I could laugh. Laugh all you want, but it's not going to be funny for long. Not when I get the police involved. I'm not going to let you get away with stealing things from my home. Not an arrogant poor person like you that thinks she can insult me. Are you that jealous of me and my lifestyle? So much that you'd try to steal a part of it from me? Jealous? Excuse me? You think I'm jealous of you? I understand that having a celebrity like me nearby must be really hard for you, since you have to go home to your boring, dull life. But that doesn't mean you can try and take my stuff from me. That watch you stole is really important to me. Do you understand? Give it back, right now! What are you talking about? I don't know anything about your watch. Do you really think that I stole it from your house? I know it was you! Nobody else could have stolen it but you! You better give it back right away or I won't forgive you! Do you understand what will happen if you don't? I'm going to make you suffer, and you'll wish you had never touched any of my stuff! I've had enough of your accusations. Why would I steal your watch? I don't even know what watch you're talking about. And when would I have had the time to steal it? I was only there for a few minutes because I had to get to work. I was literally in and out. How would I have had the time to take your watch? Plus, you were with me the entire time I was there because you were so insistent on showing everyone around. You were the one that was keeping me from leaving. I didn't see any watch when I was there, and I don't know what you're talking about. You're lying! You're full of lies, you liar! You thief! I'm talking about the watch that cost $10,000. You know what I'm talking about. I know you saw it, and I know you took it when you realized that it cost so much. I'm sorry, but I haven't seen your watch. And you said it yourself. I'm too poor to understand how much the things you own are worth. You may want to make me into the bad guy and lay blame on me, but there's no point. I really haven't touched or seen your watch. You're not going to find your watch if you keep pointing the finger at me, because I really don't have it. Why don't you search your own house again? Maybe you just misplaced it. You're lying! I know you are! I'm not that stupid! I wouldn't lose a watch like that! I already know everything, so there's no point in trying to cover up your own crime! Hurry up and give me back my watch! You're not listening to me. I didn't steal your watch. I have nothing else to say to you, so would you please leave me alone? I have better things to do than to be insulted by you. I'll see you, Madison. Hey, honey. When are you coming home?
I'm on my way right now.
Great! Can you buy me some donuts or a blueberry muffin from the convenience store outside the station? I'm really frustrated because of something stupid one of the women from the PTA circle said to me, and I have to eat something really sweet before I blow up.
Really? You're going to blow up? Sure thing. If a muffin's enough to keep you sedated. Oh, that reminds me. I had something to tell you. One of the women in your PTA circle is married to Smith, right? The really rich one that likes to act like she's a celebrity? The one that you said was living in a high-rise apartment and was taking over the PTA circle and is bossing everyone around?
Yeah, she's the one that pissed me off today, actually. What about her?
I'm not surprised. They both seemed like trouble when we first got to know them, but now I'm sure of it. Her husband resigned from his job the other day.
Her husband resigned? Why?
You're not going to believe it. And you're not going to believe what I heard about him.
Who did you hear it from? I don't remember you saying that you were friends with him.
I'm not. I heard it from Howard. Apparently, Smith was asking him to introduce me to him.
Introduce you? For what? Luke, this is starting to sound really suspicious. I hope you're not thinking about getting involved with whatever he's doing. I have a really bad feeling about where this conversation is going, honey.
Of course not. But you're right about it being suspicious. I have no intention of accepting anything he's offering me. So don't worry. I'm not that stupid. I'll tell him that he'll have to find someone else.
He's offering something? Is what he's doing that bad?
I'll tell you everything when I get home. I'll buy your donuts and your blueberry muffin. So hang in there.
Oh, thank you. I'll get dinner ready in the meantime. Are you an idiot? I can't believe you would be so stupid. Who are you calling stupid! That's my line! I've never seen anyone as stupid as you! Why did you come back to my house? Did you think you could get the chance to steal something else? No, I came back because you wouldn't stop calling me a thief. You were saying that I was running away from discussing it with you, so I came all the way to show you that I have no reason to run or hide from you. But I never thought you would punch me. What's wrong with you? Why would you punch me in the face like that? Who do you think you are? You're just some poor working woman. I'm a celebrity in comparison to you. What has that got to do with anything? Just because you think you're better than me doesn't mean you're free to punch me whenever you want. You assaulted me. Assault? You're overreacting. You're the one that suddenly showed up at my apartment without any warning. It's only natural I would suspect that you would come back to steal something else. You can't trick me. I know what you're up to. People like you don't have the skills or ability to earn a decent amount, so you can only think of taking from other people. I won't ever forgive you for what you've done. I'm sorry, what? You're saying you won't forgive me for something I didn't do? You're the one that needs to beg for forgiveness after assaulting me. I'm telling you, there's no point in lying. I know that you stole my watch the last time you came to my apartment. Of course I won't forgive you. You're a thief. Even if you begged me, I won't ever forgive you. You deserve to get a punch in the face. You don't even have proof that I stole your watch. And yet you still punched me. There's something seriously wrong with you. Who punches someone on a hunch? Blaming me for your watch going missing just because I visited your apartment is a little far-fetched, don't you think? I wasn't the only one that was there that day. So why do you think it was me? Because you took the longest to send me a message thanking me for inviting you on the house tour. You stink of ingratitude. Of course someone like you would steal my stuff. That's your reason? You're kidding, right? How many times do I have to tell you that it wasn't me? You won't even listen to me. You've got a problem if you think it's okay to punch people just because you believe they've done something wrong. You're jumping to conclusions, Madison. I don't care what you say. Give me back my watch. I know it was you. You can't make any more excuses. A poor person like you might not be able to recognize brand items that easily, but that watch costs $10,000. I know that you're planning on selling it. You should be happy that I'll let you off with just a punch and didn't call the police on you. If I call the police, your life is over. You'll go to prison, you'll be even poorer when you come out, and no one will trust you with their stuff. Excuse me? I should be happy? I'm not going to forgive you for what you've done. You're the one that's going to wish you had never punched me. Shut up! Give me back my watch. You're just a thief. You can't threaten me with anything. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to give you, because I never stole anything. You're just jumping to conclusions, and I'm going to get my revenge for the way you've treated me. You better prepare a speech, because you're going to be begging me for forgiveness. What? You're just a criminal. Why would I apologize to you? You're the one that needs to beg me for forgiveness. If you don't want to be taken to court, you better give my watch back. I've told you over and over, but it's expensive, and someone like you doesn't deserve to own something that luxurious. I told you, I can't. Because I don't have it. I don't want your stupid watch, or the money I could make if I really did sell it. I'm not interested in brand items like you are. But if you don't believe me, then there's nothing else we can do. We've hit a dead end in discussing this, so we need someone else to work this out for us. I'm confident that I'm innocent in this situation, and that you're the real criminal for assaulting me. So I don't mind going to court like you say. That's the best way to clear this up. We'll have someone else decide who's right and who's wrong. Happy? Oh, really? You're happy to go to court? Fine. If that's what you want, then that's what you'll get. I don't need a court to tell me how guilty you are. But obviously you're too poor and stupid to understand. So I'll have my lawyer spell it out for you. You're really going to regret this. You can run, hide, and lie all you want, but my lawyer will find out the truth and make you pay for what you've done. Plus, I have money, unlike you. I can afford the best, and when your stupid lawyer loses your case, you'll be wishing you never answered back to me. You'll finally realize how different our worlds are, and how much better I am than you. Yeah, sure. We'll see how that works out for you. If you agree on going to court, then let's speak with our lawyers and find a date that suits us all. We'll find out who's really in the wrong. You're the criminal! Of course you're in the wrong! You stole my watch! You deserve to get a punch in the face! Are you really sure about that? I wonder when you'll finally realize that your watch was never stolen. I wonder when it'll occur to you that your own husband took your watch and sold it. I bet you'll feel really stupid, huh? What are you talking about? What's your husband doing for work, Madison? Don't you know? Here's a hint. He's not working for the same company as my husband anymore. You may have thought that you would be living like a celebrity for the rest of your life, but it looks like your husband has plans of his own. Why don't you ask him about that? Then you'll realize how stupid you've been. You'll find out that your perfect life isn't as perfect as it seems. Boo-hoo! What are you saying? Are you trying to pin the blame on my husband? How stupid can you get? Why would my husband sell my watch? Sadly, you're the only person that hasn't noticed what her own husband has been up to recently. You should talk to him and see what he says. He might try and lie to you and cover it up, but everyone he worked with, including my husband, knows the truth. Knows the truth? What are you saying he's done? He resigned from his position at the company last month and became a scalper. Huh? A scalper? What's that? I've never heard of anything like that. My husband never told me that he resigned. And why would he? He has a great salary and a great position. What's worth throwing all that away? You're just trying to confuse me and draw my attention away from you stealing my watch. Well, I'm not falling for it, Maria. If you keep on saying stupid stuff like that, I'll punch you again. Madison, listen to what I'm saying, because I've had enough of repeating myself. Your husband became a scalper and started selling your stuff online. What? On top of that, he's been recommending it to his previous colleagues, offering to teach them and give them advice on how to sell things at higher prices. That's how everyone at the office found out why he'd resigned. He hasn't just been selling things that he's bought new. He's been selling your stuff too, since you have plenty of brand items. He must have thought you wouldn't miss anything. He's been selling them at ridiculous prices too. I'm surprised that anyone would want to buy anything for that price. But I guess some people are just desperate to look better than other people. Are you sure he hasn't been buying a lot of brand items recently? And they've disappeared without you realizing? Because I hear he's been buying stuff secondhand and selling that too. That's how scalpers work. When they buy things new, they buy a lot of the same items so they can sell them off at whatever price they want to, and then they buy secondhand items and change the way they advertise the product by taking better pictures and write stuff like vintage, limited edition to draw up people in and sell things at higher price. Those are the lengths scalpers go to make money. My husband? A scalper? But he hasn't said anything about quitting his job. Are you sure? Has he really resigned? No one's seen him at the office for the past month? Yeah, I'm sure. He was bragging about it to one of his colleagues that he found a better job and wanted a partner to work with him. So he was asking for someone to introduce my husband to him. I can't believe it. My husband! You're telling me he resigned without telling me? You told me the other day that he's been working from home for the past few weeks, right? Why don't you take a look at his room where he's been working? You'll find plenty of evidence to back up what I'm saying, and you might even find your watch. You might even find that you've been missing a few other things too. You're joking, right? I still can't believe it. You mean that we can still afford to live in this apartment even though he's resigned? But if he's not a manager in a major company anymore, if he's making money like that, then it means that I can't brag about my perfect life anymore. Does that mean I'm not special anymore? Why should I care? The only person that ever thought you were special because your husband was a manager and was earning more money was you. Anyway, about the watch you accused me of stealing. Funnily enough, it came up on an online flea market site when I search engined it. I heard from Sarah and the other moms that you made a fuss and sent them all pictures of the watch I stole the evening we went to visit, so I checked with them, and they say it's a match. The watch you say I took and the watch that's online are one and the same. It's been put up for sale on a flea market site? Seriously? You're actually serious about my husband selling my things? And he's set the starting bid at a really incredible price, too. I hope that it's all a mistake and that it's just a stranger's watch that happens to have the exact same features. But the page was just created 2 days ago. I felt that it couldn't just be a coincidence and thought I should let you know. It's got nothing to do with me whether your husband sells your stuff or not. That's something you've got to deal with between yourselves. And we can't even confirm whether it really is your watch or not. But I'm not going to take your accusations lying down. Oh my god! That's it! If we can't confirm whether if it's my watch or not, then it's still possible that you have it! And you tried denying it, but it's still possible you didn't just find that page. You're the one that made it! I can't believe I fell for your lies! There's no way my husband would do anything like that! Here we go again. How about we talk to the police? They can search my house, but they won't find your watch or any proof that I sold it. Plus, they can find out who really owns that flea market page and confirm that I haven't touched your precious watch. But I wouldn't be worrying about your watch if I were you. I bet you'll be arrested for assault before you even give it back. Excuse me? Why would I be arrested? Anyone would agree with me that I wasn't wrong for punching you. It doesn't count as assault. Of course it's assault. No matter how expensive it was, you can't punch people over an accessory. When are you going to get that into your thick head? And you didn't just punch me, remember? You even tried to push me down the stairs. Imagine what might have happened if I didn't grab the handrails. If that doesn't count as assault, I don't know what does. At the very least, I'm going to report it to the police, and we'll see what they have to say about it. They can tell us who the real criminal is. You're going to report this to the police? I did it out of self-defense. The police will side with me if I tell them I felt intimidated by you. That you were going to hurt me. I think the security camera in the hallway outside your apartment will back up everything I'm saying and will prove that you're lying about me intimidating you. Huh? Security camera? If the police check the footage on the cameras, it'll show that you punched me the second you realized it was me when you opened the door. I didn't have any time to provoke or intimidate you, and I certainly didn't try and hit you first. The cameras will prove that you're guilty of assaulting me. Crap! I completely forgot about the cameras. Okay then, how about we make a deal? How much money do you want? That'll be enough to shut you up, right? You're offering me hush money? Wow! No thanks. I think you'll need it when my lawyer shuts you down in court, and after your husband gets caught for the illegal activities he's involved in. You're going to need to save as much money as you can while you still can. Plus, I plan on demanding plenty in compensation anyway. What do you mean while I still can? Your husband resigned from his elite and stable post in one of the biggest companies in the country to become a scalper, which isn't exactly a promising career. I mean, I can understand the addictiveness. It must be like hitting the jackpot in a casino. But that luck's not going to continue forever. One day, he'll be caught, or one day he's not going to be able to sell the stuff he's bought, and you'll both suffer the consequences. And I have a feeling that the police will be on his tail pretty soon, since he tried selling a guidebook to my husband and some other colleagues. A guidebook for reselling items, which he offered for another ridiculous price. Even you've got to agree that it wouldn't be strange if he was arrested for trying to con people. He was conning people? When? The guidebook he was selling was full of crap, Madison. And he was trying to sell it for $20,000. $20,000? Would someone actually buy that? Apparently one of my husband's colleagues, a pretty naive guy, was seriously thinking about buying it until my husband stopped him. Your husband tried selling it to Luke too, but luckily for me, Luke's a bit too smart to get caught in a trap like that. But sooner or later, someone's going to get tricked, and I'm pretty sure that your husband will get charged for fraud or something for pulling tricks like this. Maria, I'm really sorry. I think we had a bit of a misunderstanding. I didn't mean to accuse you of anything. I panicked when I saw that my watch was gone. I swear. I hope that we can talk about this and make up. We've both had some prejudices about one another, but those will disappear and we can forget about all of this once we get to know each other. Would you like to come over for some coffee? Of course not. You punched me and tried to push me down the stairs. How do I know that you won't try and poison me by putting something in my drink? I don't want to talk, and I don't want to get to know you. I already know enough to make me feel that I never want to see you ever again. And I think that's a normal reaction for someone who's been punched for no reason. Don't say that. I really didn't mean it. I'm sorry. I want us to be friends, can't we? I understand that you're finally starting to worry about the consequences of what you've done, but there's no point in trying to sweet talk me. I'm not going to change my mind about talking to the police, and my husband's planning on reporting your husband too. You'll both have to explain yourselves to the police, not to me. Maria, please! I don't want to lose this lifestyle! Forgive me! I'm begging you! You can't be so heartless! Even if you beg me, there's nothing I can do. Even if I could, I wouldn't. You need to learn your lesson. The ones that ruined your perfect lifestyle are you and your own husband because of your own thoughtless actions. And you've got to pay for them. I doubt you'll be able to enjoy your high-rise apartment for much longer, but do your best. I hope you can find a job too, once you're out of prison. Maria filed a report to the police, and both Madison and her husband were called in for questioning. In the end, they were both found guilty of their crimes and were arrested. Madison for her assault on Maria, and her husband was arrested for fraud. Their children were taken in by Madison's parents, and wouldn't be able to meet their own mother and father until they had left prison. Of course, they could no longer live in the high-rise apartment Madison was so fond of, and even when she did get out of prison, a lot of trouble would be waiting for her. She would have to work hard to regain the trust of her friends and loved ones, and would have to go and find a job herself in order to pay the debt she owed after paying Maria her compensation. We can only hope that she learned that doing bad things will always come back to haunt her.
Alright, so we're gonna go and meet my parents tomorrow, right? I'm a little worried about something, so I thought that I should warn you before we go.
What are you worried about?
I just spoke to my parents on the phone, and it looks like my dad... well, it sounds like he really's got something against you.
What? Really? But we've never even met before. What could he have against me? Is he really that protective of you?
Kind of. It's more like he thinks that we gotta marry into someone that's worthy of being in our family, since I guess you can say that we have it all. We have the education, the money, the influence. I mean, all of our family has graduated from a renowned university. He wants the people that join our family to be just as high up on the ladder as we are.
So? What's the problem? I went to a pretty famous university too. Or is it not famous enough?
Well, yeah, the problem isn't you exactly, it's your background. I didn't know that your dad was a single parent. You've never told me that he raised you by himself. But my dad knew somehow.
Wait, I told you that my mom passed away. I didn't think that I would have to tell you that that means that my dad is a single parent.
Well, I knew about your mom, but I didn't think that he was still alone. When you hear that someone's from a single-parent household, you get the impression that they're not exactly financially stable. You understand that, right?
What? Troy, what are you even saying? That doesn't make any sense at all. Do you understand that that's called prejudice?
Anyway, I think that's why my dad doesn't like you. My mom told me that he's been in a bad mood recently because of that. So I just want you to be careful with what you say to him tomorrow. We don't want to anger him any further.
You're telling me to be careful? How am I supposed to do that? I haven't even done anything wrong, so how am I supposed to take care not to make him angry? I'm not gonna walk around on eggshells. I don't understand where this is all coming from, but if he already hates me, then obviously there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just going to be myself and work towards getting to know him, and have him get to know the real me. Everything's going to be fine, so you don't have to worry.
You've got a lot of nerve coming into my house and trying to slither your way into my family. A woman like you doesn't deserve to be with my son. You're beneath him.
You should take that back, Mason. You're being extremely rude. You were insulting my dad, too. What you've said is absolutely unforgivable.
You and that father of yours, did you really think that you could become a part of our family if you got closer to my son and married him? You're beneath us. You don't have the right. You must be stupid if you think that I'm going to let you get away with this.
I'm not interested in becoming family with someone who speaks like that to someone they've only just met. And the prejudices you have against single-parent households is just ridiculous, too. I don't want to have anything to do with your so-called super elite family.
You don't have the right to reject us. We're the ones that want nothing to do with people like you. You must have thought that marrying into our family was a chance for you to become rich yourselves. But you're not getting your dirty hands on any of my money. And you're not marrying my son either. If you keep on acting like a gold digger like that, then you'll never get married. It's no wonder you're still single at your age.
Excuse me?
There's no point in trying to hide it. I heard from Troy that you're older than he is. Which means that you're over 30. If a woman's not married by the time she's 25, that can only mean that something's wrong with her. In other words, you're after our money. You can't trick me, you're a fortune hunter. You should take a good look at yourself and your background before you go out and try and find another victim. Next time you should aim a lot lower instead of trying to reach for someone that's out of your league. You and my son were never going to make it as a couple. He's too good for you. And you only have your ignorance to blame if you can't realize that.
Mason, I think you should be careful with what you say to me. You're going to regret being this rude, and you'll wish that you could take it back when it's too late.
Why should I take care with what I say to you? You're just a gold digger. I can say whatever I like to someone like you. Do you want to know why? It's because someone with your background doesn't have the power to stop me. You say that I'm going to regret this. As if. What can you do to make me apologize? Nothing!
I understand the love you have for your only son, and wanting the best for him, including the best partner, but that doesn't mean that you can talk to people however you want. You were rude enough to insult me and my father the minute I walked through your door, and now you've gone out of your way to contact me online just to continue your verbal abuse. It's pathetic. And you really consider yourself a part of the higher end of society? As an elite? Don't make me laugh.
And you wouldn't, since you're not one of us. We have pride in being elites, and we have a duty to uphold our reputation. If I let Troy marry you, it would mean the end of that reputation. Especially now that I know your father didn't even go to high school. An embarrassment like that has to be avoided at all costs.
Excuse me? How did you even find out about that? My dad's never told you that, and I've never told Troy either. How did you find out about my dad's education? And about my dad being a single parent? It seems like Troy never told you, so how did you know?
I guess it's difficult for a poor person like you to understand. Rich people have their own ways of finding information that someone like you could never dream of. It must be a shock, but this is proof that you would never have made it in our family.
Enough with the derogatory comments. Would you hurry up and tell me how you found out about my dad? You're starting to creep me out.
You? Ordering me around? God, you even sound uneducated. But I'll tell you, it's easy for me to hire someone to investigate someone like you. Money makes the world go round, and having a lot of money myself, I could do whatever I want. I have the sort of education that you can only dream of, and with it, I can have a career that's out of your reach, and money that you'll never get. When someone is born into the lowly circumstances you're stuck with, they can never escape it. The only life you'll ever know is lacking in financial stability, lacking in good education, and wanting of good morals.
You really sound like you're enjoying this. But I'm warning you, I'm going to report everything you've said to my dad.
Do whatever you like. I doubt that he can ever do anything to me. Oh, and maybe it was difficult for an idiot like you to understand, but the engagement is off. You're not marrying my son. I'm not going to allow you to marry into our family, not now and not ever. We've all been to top universities in our country. Why should we let someone like you get in our way?
I never imagined that my own fiancé's husband would cancel the engagement, but I'm not upset by it at all. If anything, I'm relieved. The only thing I'm disappointed about is that your son wasn't the man I thought he was. Now I know what he's really like. I don't want to marry him. I've already told him that I don't want to marry him myself. I'm not interested in becoming family with someone who thinks that he can insult people based on their education. And he didn't even try to defend me while you were shouting abuse at me. He was too afraid to argue back to you. When I saw that he wasn't even going to try and come between us, I lost all of my feelings for him. It made me wonder why I even fell in love with him in the first place.
Our family has a strong bond. Of course he wouldn't talk back to me for a woman like you. He knows better than that. It takes an education to teach people who they should really side with. And he made the right choice by not defending you. We don't need someone like you disrupting our family bond.
I told you I have no intention of marrying your son anymore. So there's no need for you to talk down to me like that.
I made the right choice by hiring that private investigator to look into you and your family.
What?
I found out a lot of interesting things about you. I didn't want some random woman making her way into my son's life and getting her dirty hands on our money. I should have been more wary and stopped him from even dating a woman like you. But at the very least, I managed to stop him from ruining his life by marrying you.
You actually went out of your way to investigate us? Wow, you're so committed. So you really think that your family's reputation is worth that much effort to protect? You must think very highly of yourself.
Of course I do. Our family is special. We have dignity, unlike people like you. The private investigator informed me that your father didn't even go to high school. There's no way that I can let you start a family with our Troy knowing that you're going to mix your uneducated blood into our family. You're not marrying Troy, and that's final.
Well, my dad says that you're fired.
What?
I'm tired of talking to you, so I've already told him everything that you've said to me. At first, I was willing to just accept breaking off the engagement because Troy and I were probably just not meant for each other. And I was willing to ignore how rude you had been to me when I visited. But you've gone too far, Mason. You said too much about me and my dad, and now we're both furious. My dad's shocked that you could be so discriminatory and has decided he doesn't want you working in his company anymore.
What the hell are you talking about? He can't do anything to me. He's just a middle school graduate. He doesn't have the power to fire me.
Listen to me, Mason. You're working in the company that my dad founded after he graduated from middle school. He's your employer, asshole.
What did you say?
Let me correct myself. You're not even working in his company. You're working in some distant child company that doesn't even have much affiliation with him.
What are you talking about?
You don't even know what he looks like, do you? The CEO of your parent company? You wouldn't, because you don't have any reason to. Since you're not even a manager of any kind, you're just a simple office worker. But you should have gotten his picture when you investigated us, right? How about you look up the CEO of the company you're working for? I think you'll recognize him, because he'll have the same face as the man in the picture who you got from your PI.
What? You're kidding.
I'm not. Look it up and see for yourself. If you take a look at the company homepage, you'll find my dad's picture.
It's true. It really is the same picture. No way. Your father is the CEO of our parent company?
That's why I warned you not to insult my dad. So, how does it feel to be fired by the very guy that you were insulting for being beneath you and inferior to you? Is it embarrassing? Do you feel humiliated? I hope so, because you definitely deserve it.
Wait a minute. Is this really true? Are you the CEO's daughter? But why? I didn't know. I didn't know about any of this. The investigator never told me that your father owned a company, let alone the company that I work at.
What, did the PI only tell you that my dad was a middle school graduate? That's a shame. You must have wasted a lot of money to get that lousy information. But even if you didn't know, nothing's going to change my dad's mind. You should just give up and work on fixing your manners and finding another job.
I'm very sorry.
What?
I apologize for being so rude towards you and the CEO. I got ahead of myself and made a lot of unpleasant remarks that hurt you and your father. It was because I didn't know who you really were. If I did, I wouldn't have said that. I really regret my actions towards you, and I hope that you'll find it in your hearts to forgive me. Please let me apologize. I'm sincerely extremely sorry. It was unacceptable for me to speak to you like that.
It's too late for you to start apologizing now. The damage has already been done. Besides, we're not interested in accepting your apology.
Please don't say that. I really didn't mean to insult you like that. Please, hear me out. It was the investigator's fault. They must have made a mistake and sent me the wrong information. I didn't mean to be so rude to you, okay? You've got to believe me.
Oh, really? Then how about the lies about you going to university? I think I'm correct when I say you didn't go at all. But I guess you're trying to say that you didn't mean to lie about that as well.
What?
We already know the truth, Mason. We know that you haven't actually been to university. You lied about being a high school graduate.
I can't believe what you're saying. I went to university. I went to one of the top universities in the country. That's why I got the job at your father's company, because of my degree.
You should be ashamed of yourself. You were putting yourself on a pedestal, declaring that you were better than everyone else because of your higher education. But in actual fact, you've never been to university. You're a high school graduate. My father had you investigated and found out everything for me.
What? You investigated me?
You're just a family of vain liars. Or rather, you're the vain one. You are trying to present yourself as a superior, important man with a reputation to uphold, but you were lying about everything. To your own family, too.
I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't lied about anything.
Of course you know what I'm talking about. You should know yourself whether you've been to university or not. There's no point lying to us anymore. My dad's already had you investigated by a PI because he was worried about the type of person you were.
Huh? You hired a private investigator as well?
Yeah, we found out that you're a high school graduate and that you lied about your education to get into my dad's company. My dad had no intention of getting in the way of my engagement to Troy. He just wanted to know what kind of person you were. He trusted my judgment and was willing to ignore what you had done as long as I really did want to marry Troy. He was going to give his blessing for the marriage, but apparently he's changed his mind. He's angry that you could be so insulting and that you spoke to me like that, and has decided that he wants you gone. He's the CEO after all. He can't ignore that you faked your CV to get into his company.
You already know that much. I never would have imagined that I would be investigated by someone else. I thought that I could hide the truth.
If you're able to investigate someone else, you should keep in mind that someone might be investigating you too. By the way, the PI that you hired was someone that my dad knows. You should know that he has a lot of influence over a lot of local business.
What? He knows the investigator I hired?
Yeah, the PI kindly let him know that he was his next target. So my dad asked him to keep his current position under wraps and chose what information they could leak to you. He wanted to see how you would react to the information you had been given.
What? So you tricked me? So then I was just dancing to your tune without knowing it? Then it's not my fault that I reacted like that. You did it on purpose to make me look like the bad person. We've both done wrong in this situation, so why can't you just overlook what happened? Let's forget about all this.
No way, you must be joking. The second you found out about my dad being a middle school graduate, you hated me before you even met me. And then when I went to visit you with Troy, you looked down on me and insulted me. I don't want to have anything to do with you. I didn't know that my dad had investigated you until I told him everything you said, but I'm grateful that he did. I know that he was just thinking about me, and in the end, he didn't use that as a reason to try and get me to cancel the engagement. But you did.
But it's not my fault. If I had known that you were the CEO's daughter, I never would have said any of this. I would never have disrespected you the way that I did to you both if I knew that he was my boss. I didn't know, so I didn't mean it. You've got to forgive me.
Even if my dad wasn't the CEO of your company, you should never have spoken to me like that. You're the lowest of the low for demeaning me like that. Just because you found out that my dad didn't go to high school. You're obviously not fit to call yourself a father, since you've ruined the chance of a happy future your son might have had, and for lying to him about your own education. Plus, you're going to be fired, and won't be able to support your own family, despite priding yourself for being so well off.
Please wait. You can't do this. You're gonna ruin my life for nothing. I haven't done anything wrong. Tell me what I've done to deserve this.
You still don't understand what you've done? I've already told you enough, so why don't you look back on what you've said to me this past hour and think about it? I don't want to have anything more to do with you or your son, so don't try to contact me again. If you'll excuse me, I've got better things to do.
Wait a minute. I'll give you my blessing. You can marry my son.
Were you even listening to me?
My son says that he still wants to marry you, if I'll let you marry him, so please. He's told me that he's sorry and he wants to get back together, hasn't he? Why don't you? Just forget about everything I said to you today and make up with my son. You were both happy to marry him up until now. Are you going to let a few bad hours change that? Are you really that cold? Just marry him. If that's what you want to do, I won't stop you anymore. I didn't mean anything I said, so if you'll just forgive me.
You're getting on my nerves, Mason, you and your son. There's no way I'll be able to forget what you said to me today, and there's no way I want to marry your son. I've already saved screenshots of the conversation we've had online, and I've already shared them with my dad. And I don't love your son anymore. It's as simple as that. He didn't even try to stop you or try to defend me. And if anything, he was telling me that I needed to be careful the night before we went to visit you. I've already told him that I'm not interested in forgiving him and that we're never getting back together.
You can't do that. What am I supposed to do? I'm going to lose my job. How am I supposed to tell my family? They'll never forgive me.
Oh, yeah, about that. I already told Troy that you lied to him and your family about being a university graduate.
What?
Your entire family knows that you've been lying this entire time. It seems like they're pretty disappointed. Good for you. Now you don't have anything to hide from them. Anyway, I'm leaving now. Don't ever contact me ever again. I don't want to become family with someone like you. So I'm never coming back. Goodbye! After that, Mila ignored all of Mason's messages and calls. She officially broke off the engagement with Troy and let her parents know that she wasn't going to marry him. Mason's managers found out from Mila's father that he had been lying about his education and was fired immediately after. His entire family lost all trust in him when they found out the reasons behind him losing his job. He had been so wary of Mila damaging his reputation and had always been a very proud man, so he was even more embarrassed when they heard that he had never been to university. Troy blamed his father for everything that had happened between Mila and himself and didn't think to look back on his own faults before cutting ties with Mason. Mason's wife announced that she wanted a divorce, and Mason has been attempting to convince her to take him back, without much success. They were calling themselves an elite, well-off family, but in the end, they've lost the strong bond that Mason believed they had and have all ended up living alone. Mila was relieved that she didn't have to marry a man with such a pretentious family, and was even thankful for Mason's treatment for helping her realize that she was making a mistake.
Did I hear that once again you failed another one of your interviews? I'm starting to see a trend here that's going to lead to you becoming a nobody. You really are a useless woman. But I guess you never chose to move on to college or anything higher than high school. So we all knew from the start that you weren't going to be getting anywhere.
I'm sorry that I never went anywhere after high school, but it's not because of that I'm having such a hard time right now finding a company that's willing to hire me. I just happen to want to go down a different path than other women, and that's why it'll be more difficult for me to find work that I want. I feel that if I don't get the kind of work that I want, then I'll never be able to take that kind of work seriously.
Huh? What are you rambling on about? I know that it's due to you never making it out with a college degree that nobody wants to hire you. We are a family of elite bankers, and we're all getting pretty close to kicking you out of the family for your repeated failures. I've already talked a lot of this over with Mom, but could you possibly stop coming back home to us now?
What? What are you talking about, Joyce?
We are already planning to take all your things that are still in this house and throwing them away for you. So don't even bother coming back here. Go out into the world and take care of yourself, you trash.
Wait, but asking me to do that out of left field is way too soon, right? I do want to get out of the house just as much as all of you want me to, but saying that you're already going to be throwing my things out and kicking me out so soon is too fast.
We're not going to be throwing away your things, though.
Huh?
After all your failed attempts to become someone more than just a loser in this family, you and all your things are like garbage. And garbage has to be thrown out. So we'll make sure that the trash gets taken out right away. Therefore, you are now on your own with no family left to support you. Goodbye now, you filthy mess.
I've always felt that all of you have been terrible for people I call family, but I never expected you all to take things this far. Kicking me out of the house just like that, it's crazy.
And don't even bother trying to come back to us ever again. But even if you do still feel as though you'll find a way back into the family, know that we'll have the lock changed and you'll never be able to come back into the house. Ha! I'll even make sure to let all of our neighbors know that you're not welcome here anymore and to call the police if they ever see you around our house. Consider this your one and only warning. Ha!
You're going even further with all this now? When are you guys going to stop with this nonsense? Don't you guys even feel a bit of sadness that you're doing this to your own family right now? I have dealt with you all this whole time, even with all the hate you throw my way. But I guess this is where I should draw the line because I seriously never thought a day like this would come so soon.
Well, this is all because of you, right? We are a family of highly praised bankers. Yet you never bothered trying to make anything of yourself. You never gave it your all in education, and you never tried when it came to finding a job. So there's no other choice than this. You couldn't even do the one thing that this family is known for, and that's being good with money.
But I never wanted to be a banker or have anything to do with money. I had tried working for a bank when I graduated high school, but it wasn't for me, and I chose to go down a different path than all of you did. But because of that, you and the rest of the family call me a failure, even though I have been doing just fine following my dream.
Say whatever the heck you'd like. We've all decided to have you kicked out of this house. So don't try coming back, or you'll only make life worse for yourself. Now, goodbye forever, you pile of garbage. Ha! And I'm never going to even think of you as my sister from now on.
Wait, Joyce, are you actually wanting to go through with all of this? Can you guys at least give me my things to take with me? Throwing all of those things away is not okay, please.
I'm beyond surprised. I never actually thought today would be the day that I'd be seeing you again after all these years, especially at a place like here.
I'm just as surprised as you are about this. But what really shocked me was the way you began to freak out when you saw me and screamed to have me thrown out at once, which, of course, people followed through with.
Where did you end up hearing that I'd be having my wedding today? I bet after hearing about me finding a man of my own, you became jealous and wanted to find your way into here. Well, I never wanted to see you again after we kicked you out of the family a long time ago. You pile of garbage, ha ha ha.
So even after 12 years have gone by, you're still going to call me a pile of garbage? I was sure that you would have changed after such a long time of having never seen me, but I was wrong.
Oh, why did you come here today? Even Mom is upset after having to see you again after so long. And she wants to know just as much as I do why you came all the way here to see us. I seriously do not ever remember sending you any sort of invitation to my special day, so why have you made your way in here uninvited? Did you think you could make up with us again?
That was never my reason for coming today. And I never knew that this was going to be your wedding either.
Really? I can tell that you're lying to me right now. If you never knew that today was going to be the day of your sister's wedding, then why did you come here all dressed up like you were trying to impress us and get back into the family? I'm sorry, but clothing like that is still not going to meet our family's standards.
I'm very well aware that both you and Mom are never going to let go of all the hate you have for me. But unlike the future you saw me having, I have not become a failure, and if anything, I've come out on top. And having to hear from you today that you wanted me to leave your wedding without even giving me the chance to retort, you've confirmed to me that both you and Mom are hopeless.
Oh, come on now, Alice. We know better than to let you talk to us after how much you'd fallen. Tell me, have you actually come out on top of us after all these years? Are you working for the banks now as a banker yourself?
I'm not a banker.
Well, then that confirms to all of us that you are a failure and will never climb out of that pit you dug yourself into. Ha! So, now, Tell me why you had to come back into our lives like that on my biggest day. Could this all have something to do with you losing all your money and wanting us to hand some over to you? We all told you long ago that we have no use for someone who never graduated with a college degree and who never became a banker like the rest of us. And I never remember sending any failures an invitation to my wedding today.
So you have no clue about me then?
Huh? What else is there to know about you?
I did not come to this wedding today to celebrate you or ask for your money. I'm here at this wedding today because the groom of the wedding today, your husband, is one of my employees. I came as his CEO to show support for him on his special day.
Huh? You're his CEO. Why are you starting to spew complete nonsense at me now like that?
As far as I'm aware, the man you are having this wedding with today, Ethan, is working for me within my company. But I never once thought that the woman he'd be getting married to today would be my long-lost sister from so long ago. Well, I understand everything now and can begin to see how all of this happened. He did tell me a little while back that he'd be getting married to someone who works for the bank.
Why are you calling him Ethan like you know him? There's no way him and you are close enough to where you actually know him that well. Tell me the real reason as to why you know the name of my husband.
And I've been explaining to you the reason why for the past couple of minutes now. But for some reason, you're not willing to accept anything I've told you thus far, huh? Well, I don't ask that you understand everything I'm explaining to you, but please know that this is all the truth.
Wait, then you actually are his CEO? You're actually telling me that you are my husband's boss?
You could call me his boss, but I'm the CEO of the company he works for. And there's a few people between him and I when it comes to who his bosses really are. I can see now why all of you guys were in such a panic today when you saw me. I bet you never actually thought that the woman you called a failure so long ago and kicked out of the house with all her things would turn into someone who has their own company and has hired your husband.
I bet you're nothing in reality. There is no way in hell you've actually become a CEO after we kicked you out. Well, at least I thought there was no way in hell. Are you really a CEO now?
I really am. You're being a jerk right now acting like that about me, Joyce. I'll have to talk with Ethan about all of this soon so that he has better understanding of what all he's gotten into.
Huh? What do you plan to tell him about?
Well, I had planned to come to his wedding today as he wanted me to introduce myself as his CEO to his family and friends. But you've gone and kicked me out of there before I even had a chance to explain things. I have once again been kicked out by both my mom and sister after they both started yelling at me and calling me a pile of garbage and a failure. So I have no desire to come back to your guys' wedding now. I'll have to tell Ethan about this so that he's aware I'll no longer be around to introduce myself to anyone.
Aw, crap. He did tell me that today everyone would get to meet his CEO, but I never assumed they'd be you. When he showed me the name of his CEO, she had the same first name as you, but the last name was different.
It's been over a decade now since we last talked. It wouldn't be crazy for me to have gotten married in that time frame and changed my last name, right?
You got married. In other words, you're saying that you got married to someone before I did?
It's been a little over 5 years now since I had my wedding. And it was 10 years ago that I started my little company. And within the past decade, it's grown exponentially to where I now have a few offices outside the city. Ethan has been working for me for a very long time now, at least 7 years, I believe. And he's even on track to being promoted into a far better position after his wedding.
Hey, Alice, I'm not sure if what all you're saying is 100% true or not, but can you promise me that you won't say anything necessary to Ethan about this today?
What about this would be necessary to him?
I don't want him thinking that the whole reason his CEO couldn't come today to introduce herself to everyone was because of me. Go and tell him that you couldn't make it to the wedding because you feel sick or something like that, okay? I don't even believe you when you say you're his CEO, but this is all just to be on the safe side of things. So, if you really are, then do as I've asked, and I promise not to get any more upset with you. You understand what I'm asking from you, right?
What kind of person do you think I am? You're asking me to do all that for you, even though you've always looked down on me and hurt me in multiple ways? Funny how much the tables turn when you realize that I'm not the one in a deep hole that I can't get out of, but rather, you are. Let me just say this. No matter how hard you try to talk me out of telling him, it's too late. I bet when your husband, Ethan, hears about all of this, he's going to explode on you.
Why would he end up being that upset with me? Stop talking to me about my husband like you know him better than me.
Did you know that he never graduated with a college degree either? And that the only reason he has a job right now is because I gave him a chance back then? He's just like me in a way, coming from a past where nobody respected him, and now he's going to learn that you never respected me for that same reason.
What? Ethan never graduated from college? Oh.
It's crazy to think that after how much you bullied me for never graduating from a college, you managed to find someone to make your husband who was in the same boat as me.
Well, who cares if he graduated with a degree or not after high school? He's still very young and has a lot of time ahead of him to make lots of money with that brain of his. I know for a fact that he'll never have to worry about finding work in his life because he has the perfect job right now.
But the one that gave him that perfect job happened to be me, the person you bullied long ago for not having a degree. Well, I did manage to go to technical school after that, so you could say I am certified in the work I do. I happen to have the brains and ability, though, where I can succeed in life just like everyone else, without having a degree in anything. I wonder what Ethan will think, though, when he finds out that you bullied someone like him so much and kicked her out of your own family for never going to college.
Wait, stop that. I told you not to tell him anything unnecessary. He'll start to think that I'm some sort of monster for thinking and acting like that.
Sorry. I just told him about all of that.
What? What the hell are you talking about?
Seems that, by the way, he's responded to me. He's in disbelief about you right now.
No freaking way, Alice. We are supposed to start the wedding really soon here, and now my man is getting pissed off. And he's telling me right now that he never thought of me as being such a disgraceful human. I'm in a panic right now, Alice.
Well, you starting to panic about all of this isn't going to change the fact that you screwed up. And I think Ethan has the right to know the real kind of woman you are before he gets any further with you in this wedding. If you were going to make it any further with your antics today without him noticing, then his reaction would only be worse than it is now come the time he realizes the real you. I know this must hurt a lot to have happened now, but I think it'd be best if you gave up now.
What do you mean you think it's best for me to give up now? What the hell do you think I should be giving up on? Hold on, this is not good. It looks like Ethan is asking for this whole wedding to be canceled now.
I knew something like that would happen. But I have to say, I agree with what he's thinking. I know that you're both already married now, but I'm sure that he doesn't want things to go any further with you now that he's heard everything. Next, he'll probably be asking for a divorce.
Huh? Why are you thinking that the worst outcomes are going to happen to us? I do not want him to leave me. I'd finally found myself a man that has a good job and can bring in all the money I need. But now I have to live with the news that he's been working for you this whole time. What the hell is up with all of that?
As far as I'm aware, you're the only one that should be considered the mess-up in all of this.
But you're the one that should have never been able to become the CEO of any company. How the hell have you pulled off such a lie that you were able to get even my husband to believe you?
I told you that none of this is a lie, Joyce. You heard everything from Ethan himself now, right? So you should understand that everything I've said is the truth. I am the CEO of the company he works for, and I always will be, whether you want to believe that fact to be true or not. And that's why at this moment, Ethan is very upset with you. His idea of the person you are was wrong. Someone like you that acts like a bully and thinks that those who never graduated from college are trash don't deserve to become happy. Now you and Mom get lost and fix your ways of thinking.
Even if you do tell us to leave and change, this was the day that I had been dreaming of having for so long now. I was about to have a really good man as my husband. But now you're saying that things with him won't work out? Are you telling me that he no longer loves me?
It's not about whether he loves you or not anymore, but that he's been blown away by the monster he's learned you are. I'm sure anyone would be acting the way he is now after learning the person they love is a disgraceful woman.
But seeing that he trusts you more than he trusts me, don't tell me that you've been planning on something like this happening for the past 12 years now.
What about this would I have planned for?
You knew that he was going to marry me, and that's why you decided to employ him. Also that you could get your revenge on me, right?
There's no way that'd be the case. How selfish can you be, Joyce? Seriously. I told you already that he's been working for me in this for a very long time now. So would you stop trying to make things about this worse by selfishly changing the story to make you the victim?
So then this is all just happening by coincidence only.
We live in a pretty small world. I didn't believe that I'd be running back into you ever again either, after you all kicked me out of the house. But I'm sure that after today, you and I really will never have to run into one another again.
I just want us to go back to cutting ties with one another. But if I do that now and leave all of this mess as it is, then Ethan's going to end up leaving me as well. This is all your freaking fault. I'm supposed to be your big sister, right? So you can do something to save me from losing my husband and my wedding. Do something about this right now. Hurry up.
There's nothing I can do nor want to do to help you. Everything that happens from now on regarding your marriage to Ethan has no relation to me. All I did today was tell Ethan about the person you are and about how your actions have affected me in the past as well as today. But he's the only one that can choose what to do with all of that information, not me. I'm sorry that you never learned to give up on treating me like garbage after 12 years, but this is what happens to rotten people. But maybe now that everything is affecting you personally, you'll start to learn from all of this and change for the better. Now, good luck with that and everything else that's going to ruin your life.
Wait, please, Alice. Please get Ethan to understand me and continue with the wedding. You're his CEO after all, so he'll have to listen to you, right?
Well, if he's going to listen to me, then I'll ask him to cancel this wedding and get as far away from you as possible. Having to be married with you for the rest of his life would be the worst thing to ever happen to him, and I don't want that.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Now, can you stop replying to me about all of this? You're being a pain in my butt. Goodbye forever now, you pile of garbage. Must really burn to be a failure in a family filled with elite bankers. Maybe you can go bring Mom along with you as you go burn in hell. In the end, Alice went and told pretty much everything to Ethan about his wife and how she views people that never went to college. And because of that new information to him, he ended up canceling the wedding and getting a divorce from Joyce. Ethan has always been very thankful of everything Alice had given him with the job, and so his love for Joyce died within seconds of hearing the truth. And as for Joyce and her mother, the family learned about what they'd done to Alice by kicking her out of the wedding and were just as pissed at them as Ethan was. Joyce would then lose her job within her family's bank and would go on to be the family's new failure.